Bringing the host of the Prevailing Narrative podcast, media and technology attorney Matthew Belinsky. Matt, great to have you on the show again. So the senior counsel at the Electronic Privacy Information Center said the following, quoting here, "What we watch online can reveal deeply sensitive information about us, our politics, our passions, our religious beliefs, and much more. It's fair to expect that law enforcement won't have access to that information without probable cause. This order turns that assumption on its head." I mean, targeting people for the content that they consume seems astonishing and baffling to a lot of people, Matt.
Yeah, it's definitely troubling, and there's obviously the concept of probable cause, but the more important concept here is the concept of narrowly tailoring a warrant or a subpoena request, because there are valid reasons for the authorities to look into the online behavior of private individuals if in furtherance of a valid criminal investigation. Here, we have a valid criminal investigation, but trying to find every person who's viewed a certain video, and there's 30,000 people who have viewed that video, it stretches the imagination to wonder that that could be narrowly tailored to the criminal investigation at hand.
Seems like to the common man, they're just throwing a big net out there and hoping they catch something. And in the process, you get, it's like fishing. You get a lot of, you get some small fish in with the big fish you're looking for.
Yeah, you wonder how are you going to chisel that down into who could be involved in the criminal process here. And, in terms of thinking about where you have an expectation of privacy, people have an expectation of privacy in their online and their social media behavior.
You talk about the expectation of privacy, Matt. It's interesting because the court granted these orders and then kept them secret until Forbes actually came in and got this Freedom of Information Act and got these documents. They said, look, we're going to grant this and then we're going to hide this. And it seems to me like that's just, maybe it's normal procedure. Doesn't seem normal.
Doesn't seem normal, and you have to wonder if the courts are still trying to figure out what their perspective is on online privacy. As I mentioned a moment ago, expectation of privacy. Historically, bedroom, bathroom, other places, we know that you have that constitutional expectation, that protection. I think the courts are still working through the extent to which you have that protection in your online behavior.
Yeah, and Kevin Court kind of touched on this. The Supreme Court is now considering this huge case of, the government going in and censoring tech companies, big tech companies, censoring us, censoring everybody that doesn't fit their narrative. And Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson said this during the oral arguments. Watch.
My biggest concern is that your view has the First Amendment hamstringing the government in significant ways in the most important time periods.
Matt, the First Amendment is supposed to hamstring the government.
Correct.
That's what it is. The government doesn't have any rights. We have the rights to protect us from government overreach.
Historically, you'd never even expect even the most liberal Supreme Court justice or anybody in the public sphere to believe that there was the priority of the government's ability to capture this information that was superior to the protection of the First Amendment. And starting to see Supreme Court justice or other people who are supposed to be our elected leaders honoring the Constitution to kind of cast that aside and put the government's concerns ahead of that is very troubling.
It's got a lot of people very troubled. Matt Belinsky, great to have you on the show as always.
Thank you.
Thank you.